Hello, my name's Jeff Riolo. I'm with Empower UAV UAS. We're a California-based corporation working in the commercial drone service industry. We've been doing that for 5 years. And 5 years doesn't sound like a long time in the business world, but in the drone world, 5 years is like going back to the dinosaur years. Well, because of the complexity of the airspace rules, initially we did a lot of work out in rural areas, particularly agricultural crop mapping. And in that, we've experimented and used just about every sensor that's available. And the purpose for us today here is to introduce a superior tool that we found that is of great value to the farmers. It's the Sony Smart Ag Solution. And as the Sony Smart Ag Solution, it comes as a standalone complete system from start to finish. So we're going to get into the nuts and bolts today with my partner Chris in a little bit, but I'd like to at least show you the components in the system. We're going to have a high-powered iPad to run the flight application. We have the Sony Smart Ag camera, which is NDVI and RGB. We have a Matrice 210 here, which is the aircraft that's going to carry the payload. And then we have our field laptop here so that we can process the data in real time on the spot. And then here's the great thing. We can process this data real time in the field, same day, download it onto our phones, walk out onto the GPS coordinates, and ground truth any problem that we see in the field. We can take leaf samples, we can take soil samples back to the agronomist, but we're going to get actionable items same day. So this eliminates the whole process of overnight processing, analyzing the data the next day. Sometimes it would take 24, 48, even 72 hours to get some actionable item for the farmer. With Sony Smart Ag Solution, you're going to get it same day, real time. We think this is revolutionary. I'd like to introduce my partner, Chris. Chris has been with me for 4 years. He's our director of aviation and he manages our pilots. So he's the guy that actually assembles this. He goes out and data captures, he processes, he trains. He's the guy who knows all the nuts and bolts. So Chris, take it from here.
Thanks, Jeff. Hi, my name is Chris. I'm flight operations for Empower UAV. My job today will be to take you through more of the technical aspects of the components that Jeff just mentioned, beginning with the iPad to process your flight plan, moving on to your camera, which will be attached to the drone, and then your drone, which will carry the payload, the camera, after it's assembled, and then the laptop for in the field fast processing. The reason the Matrice 200 is the aircraft of choice is because of its more robust and reliable design. It's capable of handling higher winds and bad weather, and it has an advanced battery design leading to longer flight times. The enterprise-level drone, such as the Matrice 200 or 210, is recommended for professionals such as ag retailers, crop consulting companies, or commercial drone providers. Okay, we have our aircraft in the box on the table. We're going to go through the box. Here we have the aircraft, 2 batteries, your landing gear, and your propellers. Remove the aircraft from the case, place it on the table, take out your landing gear, attach your landing gear in the appropriate spot, install the landing gear, flip the lock, ensure it is secured by wiggling the arm. Flip your unit around, extend your arms, slide the collar over the end and twist the lock until the indicator line, shown here in white, shows that it is locked and secured. Confirm the security. Make sure you do all 4 the same way. Give them a little wiggle, make sure they're secure. We're good. Next, we'll install the propellers. There is 4 of them. This is a quadcopter. It's important to note that the propellers are color-coded. You have one that is solid black and one that has a gray circle around the hub. I'm holding a propeller with a gray hub. It corresponds to the motor on the drone that has gray indicator marks on all 4 corners. Install by pressing down and twisting the motor quarter turn. You can confirm it's secure by wiggling the propeller. Now I'm holding a propeller with a black hub. It corresponds to the motor that has no gray hash marks on the corners. Again, install by pressing down and quarter turning the motor and confirming that it's secure by wiggling the propeller. We also give these a little wiggle. Ensure they're secure. We're good. Next, we'll install our TB55 batteries. We use the TB55 batteries because we get about 20 to 22 minutes of flight time with a Sony Smart Ag Solutions camera. Make sure you install these completely and correctly. You'll know they're installed when you hear the click. Also, make sure your batteries are completely charged. You don't want to be taking off with a half battery. Let's talk about best battery practices for a second. Always pair your batteries. When you open your batteries, they should have stickers in them labeled A, B, C, and D. My batteries are labeled accordingly. Batteries are expensive. To extend the life of your batteries, here are a few more practices we recommend. Don't ever run the batteries below 30% during flight. In between charges, make sure your batteries have cooled down sufficiently, and make sure they are connected to the charger completely. We'll show you that later. Also, when storing your batteries for a longer period of time, make sure you charge only to 50 to 65% to extend their battery life as well. Here we have two TB55 batteries. Let's check the charge. Press the button on the side, we have 3 lights. So we're about 3/4 charged. So why don't we stick them on the charger and top them off. This hub charger can charge 2 batteries at once while 2 more are waiting. You'll know the batteries are charging by the flashing green light on top. The yellow light means that the batteries are waiting for the previous batteries to finish. They will begin charging automatically when they are done. Your DJI Matrice aircraft relies on DJI Go 4, available for Android or iOS, to update its configuration and check for errors. Download it to your iPad, connect it to your aircraft, and check for firmware updates. There could be 3, one for the aircraft, one for the batteries, and also one for the remote controller. All right, let's open up your Sony Ag Solutions camera box. Inside, pull out the camera. It may be partially assembled. You have 3 cables. Power comes from the SkyPort here, from the drone, through this red cable, and then feeds power to the GPS unit. You want to connect your GPS power cable first, then the power cable just below it, and then connect the power to the GPS unit itself. You'll know they're in there when they're clicked. Let's take a closer look at your Sony Ag Solutions camera. It has 2 major components: the camera, RGB and NDVI, and your GPS unit. At 400 feet AGL, your NDVI has a 4.6-inch per pixel resolution. The RGB has 1.9. It is all integrated with the cables and the bracket, and you also have your SD card slot for your micro SD to secure your data. The GNSS sensor unit captures 3 types of information: GPS data, flight attitude, and has a light sensor for data calibration. Your calibration values are included in your box. Make sure you don't lose this. You'll need this for the first time you fly your aircraft. We're ready to attach our camera to the drone. Your Sony Ag Solutions camera utilizes the SkyPort on your DJI drone for its power. To install it, line up the white dot to the red dot and do a 1/4 turn on the number 2 port on your Matrice 210 or the single port on your Matrice 200. To secure the GPS bracket, flip it up and secure the set screw, and make sure it's snug. Sony developed a new sensor fusion algorithm using GPS and attitude data to provide accurate geo-referenced images. Thanks to this, the NDVI images can be stitched together in the field within 2 to 3 minutes for a 100 to 150 acre flight. Having actionable in-the-field data allows for quick site review and ground truthing. Problem areas can be identified quickly and geolocated right away while the operator is still on site. The light sensor calibrates your data, resulting in more reliable information. Changes in lighting conditions or weather will not affect the process of your map. Sony has designed its calibration system to be automatic. No extra calibrations are required before each flight. Sony recommends flying when the sun is at least 30 degrees above the horizon. It varies by region, but this is typically between the hours of 9 a.m. and 5 p.m. in the summer months. You can even use an app to calculate the sun's angle more accurately. Just search for it in your favorite app store. Sony includes software to quickly stitch together the images that you collect in the field without an internet connection. The user interface is easy to use. It was recently announced that the next version will have an artificial intelligence stand count feature. Let's talk about installing your Sony Fast Field Analyzer software. What you want to do is go to pro.sony/agriculture. And download the software to your laptop. Then go back to the Sony licensing software site and purchase a license. After all that is installed, you may activate your software on your laptop and then start setting up your field and farm boundaries before you head out in the field. Let's talk about planning your first flight. What you want to do is go to the App Store and download Map Pilot. Then go to Settings and select the correct model for your device, Sony multispectral camera. Go back to the main menu, and here you can start creating your first mission. The field that you're in will show if it's nearby, and you can start setting your boundaries. Here, you can save your flight plan so that when you're out in the field with no or poor internet connection, your base map is saved and your flight plan is ready to go.